Welcome to the Gaudium et Spes podcast. Every other week, we bring you Catholic teachings and stories of faith from people throughout the Diocese of Pensacola-Tallahassee. This is the Gaudium et Spes podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to our next episode of the Gaudium et Spes podcast. Just a quick reminder to listen to our last episode where Bishop Bill continues his teaching series on the Bible, talking about Paul's letters. Well, as you can see, we're in the studio again here today, and we've got the privilege of having three missionaries with us. We've got Sophie, Chris, and Grace. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys here today. They are with the Totus Tuus Mission, and that is a Latin word meaning all yours. It's a summer Catholic youth program dedicated to sharing the gospel and promoting the Catholic faith through evangelization, catechists, Christian witness, and Eucharistic worship. So thank you all. It's really great. I look forward to talking to you more and finding out more about what this mission is and a little bit about yourselves as well. So, Chez, how are you?
Great.
Good.
This is a cool episode, different
It
episode.
is.
Five's company, three's fine, four's okay, five is company. So we're down one mic. So, but we're super excited to have you guys here, especially as you're preparing and in the midst of embarking on this mission this summer. And here on the podcast, we always start out with the first line from Gaudium et Spes, the document from Vatican II, which goes, "The joys and the hopes, the griefs and anxieties of the men of this age, especially those who are poor or in any way afflicted. These are the joys and the hopes, the griefs and anxieties of the followers of Christ." So guys, you guys probably know the high-low game pretty well, maybe? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, yeah. It's like part and part. It's like Ministry 101. So, Sophie, highs and lows, griefs and anxieties lately in life?
Good question. I think definitely a high has been just like being here in Pensacola. I really enjoy being here. And just getting to hang out with these two. We were on a net team together, so it's great to spend some more time hanging out with them. And then lows, I don't know. Life's been pretty good. I got a sunburn, so that's not that great. But let's see. Yeah, I would say that's pretty much it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like the full peel, like half your face came off or something like that, or did it heal up on itself?
I actually just got it this morning. So it's
Check back
on my it's on my back. It's really really bad. So that's okay.
A lot of vacationers to the Florida Panhandle are finding out this reality of how much sunscreen needed around here. So
I feel like a tourist. Yep.
Chris, what's up with you?
Oh, hey man. Not much. Okay, so highs. Yeah, I'm just chilling. We're in Florida. And it's fun. I like it. So it's probably like a high. Just learning more, seeing what the Lord has in life, and then also a low. It's a great question. I don't know. I had an arugula salad for lunch. And it's good. Yeah.
Any dressing? Just
no. It was like a spicy, spicy cheese dressing and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a spicy salad and stuff. So it was good.
You're a carnivore then, Chris. If an arugula salad ruins your day, you're pretty much.
It didn't ruin my day. It was really good. It was really good. Yeah. Shout out whoever made the arugula salad. Man. Yeah.
Oh man. All right, Grace. What's up with you?
Yeah, so I definitely agree with them, and it's been a high for me just being down here in Florida and getting to hang out and do stuff. We went to the beach this morning, and it was gorgeous. We got to say like a rosary on the beach, and man, there's nothing like praying, it's immersed in God's, like the beauty of God's nature. So that was incredibly enjoyable. I don't know, for a low, that's hard. Just maybe be like being tired, but I like being tired because that means I've been doing stuff and been busy. So it's kind of a positive hidden in there. So. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Cool.
Nice.
Susanne.
Yeah, so, it's hard to believe it's already the end of June or getting to be the end of June. Jeez, where's the time going? Coming off a Father's Day weekend, so it's always great to celebrate, my husband and all the wonderful things he's done for our family through the years. So, yeah, how about yourself?
Well, First of all, I want to hear, do they still make Super Dad banners, the kids in their teenage years? And
You
put them everywhere
know,
and stuff?
it's a little different.
Give another pair of socks over
Yeah,
there.
a new tie.
Gosh, I just came off summer vacation, a week away with family and close friends of mine down in Orlando and Melbourne, which is cool. But the most fun thing recently, about the biggest highs, so we're officially a Catholic family that we have more kids than bedrooms available. So go us. And we had to move my 3-year-old Maria in with my 6-year-old John Paul for the first time. So this is roommates for the first time, and it has been hilarious just to watch. First of all, Maria stays up like 2 hours later than John Paul and like sneaks in his bed and tickles him and then runs back to her bed and stuff like that just to wake him up. And they're playing firefighter all the time together, so they're like pretending they're talking on walkie-talkies all the time. And they made Gabriel the baby an honorary firefighter badge. So it's just like maximum adorableness. They're still spilling drinks and getting in fights and causing trouble and stuff, but them as roommates has been it's been really, really cool. So no real lows lately, honestly. It's summertime. Everything's bright and beautiful and great. Well, as Susanne said, guys, we are super blessed to have you all here, and we just want to get to know you all. Grace, you're from here.
Yeah.
Chris, Sophie, not from here. So just kind of go around and just basic faith journey. I don't know, in your 85 years of life, what is combined or something like that. What's brought you to know the Lord better and have Him as the center of your life and drive you to mission and stuff?
So I'm from Michigan, Grand Haven, Michigan. And it's a beautiful place. It's an awesome place to grow up. I am part of a really big Catholic family. I'm the oldest of 8.
Wow.
And I was homeschooled. So that was awesome. And my parents were just really great about like raising my siblings and I in the faith. So shout out to them. I think kind of what's brought me here is just, I guess, like a lot of it is being on national evangelization teams, and just like growing in a deeper relationship with the Lord there, and then just like continuing to do that here, and just knowing that like you don't have to be actively doing mission work necessarily and like signed up doing a certain program to like have a relationship with God. So that's been like kind of the overriding theme of my life as of late. But I'm like super excited to be here, and like I never would have thought that I would have ended up here. It's probably like a year ago when I was like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do after high school. But there's also that. I graduated high school last year. So
Congratulations.
19 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, good. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, so I am number 5 out of 6. So I have 4 older brothers and 1 younger sister. And then,
Poor sister.
Yeah, she's 12 years younger than me, so there's a bit of an age gap there. I grew up in a Catholic family, and you know what that meant for me was saying prayers before bed, before meals, going to Mass on Sunday, just doing the Catholic thing. I would say like a part that really engaged like my own personal faith is my freshman year. My family actually like lost our house to like a couple different reasons. So we actually lived out of a motorhome from that point on, and so it was supposed to be like 2 weeks at first, and then it kind of like stretched out to like a little bit longer. And so when about a year like passed by, I was kind of questioning like. I wasn't questioning the existence of God. I was more questioning like what He was doing like in my life, and questioning like the things that He was doing. And this kind of like built up from my freshman year to my junior year, just like building up, you know. And I went to this youth conference, and the priest who was like talking like up front, he was sharing his own story, and basically in his freshman year, he had like kind of a similar situation that made him just like frustrated at God, and it just built up like same timeline as me, and he just like kept on adding, and I can relate to everything he said. And then he got to like the point where he like heard God speak to him, and And he said, but it's brought your family closer together. Like he heard God say that to him in his heart, and I realized that I can relate to that part of his story as well. That like that situation, like in my family, like it brought us all closer together. And so instead of like, I still went back home to that, just, back to the motorhome, went out and we got a house senior year. But like looking back on it, instead of like, from that point on, like after I got home from the conference, instead of like asking, how come I don't have this? How come I don't have this? Like, God, why are you not doing this in my life? I saw everything he was doing as a gift, everything I did have as a gift. And so, and I still see that. I still see like everything in my life as a gift. And like, even if I don't see it at the time, that he's doing something that I may not see like right now. But that's basically like my initial like turnaround. But after how I got to NET, so I also served 2 years on NET, National Evangelization Teams, and so I was unpacking a box for my freshman year, my senior year. I was unpacking it, and I found like one of these little like apply cards for it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm wondering what I'm supposed to do after high school, and I just like was still messing through the box. And I found another one in the same box. And so, like, I didn't realize I had two. And I was like, yo, no way. And so I put them on the dresser together. At the end of the day, while I was unpacking the box, I found 7. And so there's 7 on a stack on my dresser. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is something I should do. And so, I did it. Graduated when I was 17. When I turned 18, went to NET and served 2 years with them. And then I'm here, so that's kind of like my story.
Wow.
Yeah.
A highly biblical number. Did you know that 7 was like the perfect number in Scripture?
Yeah. Someone told me that. I was telling this story to them, and they're like, "Oh man, 7, that's so cool." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't think about that." Like, actually, kind of funny part of the story, but and I think like the drive, like not only were those like cards there, but I wanted to be the person I needed when I was in high school. Someone just to give a different perspective on like the, if I hadn't gone to that conference and just realized, like, look at my life in a different perspective, look at things like everything as a gift, then I probably wouldn't be here, like sitting in this chair right now. So like me going out and changing that perspective for other young people, I think that's my initial like drive that I have.
Very inspiring story. I mean, to have faith this young and to believe and just take the grace of God and what he brings to you. I think that's amazing. So I hope others can learn from your story. So it's good.
Speaking of grace.
Yeah.
Grace.
My story is kind of similar to them in that I'm the youngest of 4 in a Catholic family. I grew up Catholic. I was homeschooled. I actually grew up in Pennsylvania, so Florida's new for me as of like 2 years ago. But still, I live in Florida now, so I can give some.
Wait, what part of Pennsylvania?
State College, where the home campus of Penn State University is. So.
I'm from Reading originally.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Kind of sort of similarly close.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so as I was growing up in this like homeschool environment, we like went to daily mass, and all my friends mainly were Catholic. It was a really great experience with that. And then I was also like dual enrolled, starting in high school mainly. So I would take classes at the public school. So I found that really helpful to have kind of like the perspective of both. So it wasn't, the outside world wasn't some like, shocking thing when I graduated, but it was kind of like a slow immersion. And so as I went out and saw like the people that didn't have like the grounding of faith that I did, it was really evident that there was a lot of need, especially even, within my own parish and a lot of the youth that were there. I just saw how like they were searching for the Lord too, but they like didn't know that the Lord was what they wanted. And one of the main draws to the faith for me is I really love like the theology and the philosophy of the faith. I find it so fascinating, like all the details and all the truth and beauty and just goodness that the faith is. And the more you learn about it, like the deeper it goes and the more exciting it gets. And something that always was kind of a struggle for me is I didn't have some like big moment of conversion I know like a lot of times you hear like Steubenville conferences or stuff like that. People go and they like encounter the Lord in some big, massive way. And I never had that. But then the more I realized, like, God is searching for us in our each and every day. Like, he's looking for you. And he created the whole world. Like, every good thing in the world is a reflection of God. And he's just, like, dying to tell you how much he loves you in each and every day. And, like, it's a continual process still for me now. But, like, coming awake to that, I just so desire to share that with others. Like, how many people are searching for the Lord? And he's just searching for you even more. So that was kind of, that interest in theology and philosophy and stuff. I was going to go to college for that. So I was like looking at different schools and I was applied and accepted and like set to go. And then I heard about NET through actually another podcast. And so it was like travel and then also youth ministry, which was what I was going to go to school for. And I absolutely loved traveling. And I'd heard a really good friend's older sister say that where the desires of your heart and the needs of the world meet, like, that's where God's calling you to go. And I was like, I'm going to go. So I went, had an awesome experience with NIT, and I really enjoyed that. And then my mom was like, hey, we need missionaries for Totus Tuus, because she's actually a secretary at St. Paul's. So I was like, yo, I'm totally going to go do that. So then they agreed to do it. So now we're here.
We've mentioned NET a lot, so tell us a little bit more about that, because it's something new. I don't know anything about it. So what is it all about? And tell us a little bit about your experiences with that. So any of you.
Yeah, so NET focuses on like youth retreats, so high school or middle school, so from 6th grade to 12th grade. And every year they form together around 14 teams with around 8 to 12 people on each team. And then they send them out in the U.S. So there's 2 different types of teams. There's retreat teams and discipleship teams. So retreat teams, they go and they stop at a different school every day and stay at different host families along the way as well. So they travel. We were on the same team. Us 3, and our 9 months that we served, we drove 34,000 miles.
Whoa!
And put on over
100,000.
Yeah, 34,000 miles, and we put on over 100 retreats in that time. And so there's different. So that's like retreat teams. You come in and you put on a retreat. Discipleship teams, they come in and they stay at a certain parish for the entire 9 months just to create like good discipleship and nourish like the community they have there. And so, I think collectively all the missionaries and all the teams this past year, we reached around 80,000 young people across the U.S. So,
so good.
Yeah, like it's really good. And the thing about it is if out of those 80,000, if we only reached one, then one youth, then that's all worth it, that's how many people we talked to, listed down. There's probably way more, like in random gas stations, host families along the way, different, encounters in different stores. But those were the numbers. And if it was just one person that we could bring at least a little bit closer to Christ, then that's all. It's worth it. So that's a little bit about NET.
Nice. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You were talking about putting on retreats. I think a lot of people hear the term missionary and they might think mission to a maybe second or third world area. You bring clean water or medical help or something like that. Or they may even think of Mother Teresa, Teresa of Calcutta, and kind of a combined humanitarian / evangelization mission. This is a strictly evangelization type of mission, right? So what are you doing there? You're sharing the gospel.
Yeah. Right?
Tell us about what sharing the gospel is.
Yeah, so on a NET retreat, we will usually have we have a pretty big mix of things on NET retreats. So we minister to 6th through 12th grade. So it would look something like we would, meet them and we would talk to them when they first came to the retreat and just get to know them a little bit. And then we would introduce the retreat to them. And then throughout the retreat, we usually have one talk, depending on how long the retreat is, our retreats have been from everywhere from like 2 hours to 3 days. Wow. So it just depends on the retreat. But we'll have a talk, or sometimes on the longer ones we'll have a few talks. And then we usually have like a time of small groups. We like split up people into different groups and like discuss what we heard. And like usually read some scripture and just like think about that kind of thing. And then we have a lot of games. And sometimes we have skits and just like a lot of fun things mixed in along with like the teaching aspect of it. So that's kind of what a net retreat looks like.
Yeah. Good.
We definitely focus a lot on testimony as being like a foundation of our ministry, showing that like how we came to the Lord and then how they can too. So like the Lord is attainable for everyone. It's not something far off or distant or hard to get there. You can just be anyone and like meet the Lord in your life. So that was something that was really cool to see, just the way that people giving witness of their own life, like brought others in, and then they could go out and be excited, getting to draw closer to God and all of that. So
sure.
Yeah, and I think like a large part of that too is because of the title of missionary. I feel like a lot of people think that like, oh, missionaries are perfect. Like, wow, they got it set. But there's no such thing as a perfect missionary. No. And so just to show them that, and to show them that like how to like live in the world and like follow in the relationship with God, and strive for that. Like Grace said, just sharing our own personal testimonies, being really like relative in that, or on the other end.
Relatable.
You're relatable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think just like you've probably inspired a lot of people over the last year doing all of this. Did you draw inspiration from others along the way as well? Maybe fellow missionaries, or even some of the young, men and women that you, were talking to. Any stories about that at all, or do you want to share? Or?
I think a lot of the time, it can get hard to just like do what you're supposed to be doing, and so I think our team was like a constant inspiration to each other to like keep going. We really kept each other going. So that was really good. And then, you meet, sometimes you meet the random retreatant who comes on retreat and you're like, wow, you know your stuff. Like, this is amazing. Like, good for you. So those really like help you to push forward and be like, wow, okay, like this is doing something. I don't know about for you guys.
Yeah, I think it's hard. There's so much, just to like think through. But one of like the most inspiring things for me was host families. We would show up at like 9 or 10 at night a lot of times, and they would have families or like lives going on, and they would just like set everything down and just totally open their homes to us. They would give us like food and places to stay, and they would take us and do fun things. And they had no clue who we are, and they would just be so generous and so willing to give. And I think that just like simple witness to like generosity was really inspiring for me, just every day, and just brought me so much joy. Like I can keep going for this, and so much hope, because I feel like a lot of times you hear a lot of negative things about just people in general and like all of that, and knowing that there were so many good people that are willing to just like put everything aside to just serve and give to others, not knowing who they were and not going to see them ever again, just like for that one day. It was just amazing for me, and that was something that definitely kept me going.
Just anything for you?
Yeah, I think one thing that was really like inspiring to me is like when you're talking with the youth, like a group of them, and there's like one person who's really quiet and like doesn't talk, like when you ask them questions, or seems like they're not paying attention at all. Like, it doesn't always mean they're not paying attention. Like usually when they're not talking, they're probably always listening, and so a lot of the times, I mean, there's someone like that. There's someone who doesn't like talk, or you think like, man, this person just isn't really invested in this, and they're just here to pass time and going off. But there's been multiple times where closer to the end of the day or end of the retreat, where like those people, they like thank you, and really just open up and be like, hey, like I learned this, and I wouldn't have been able to like without you. And like you, like it's not often where you like find or see the fruit of the work that you do, but in those cases, like it just keeps me going. Like it just, oh man, this is why I'm here. Like, thank you. You know, I didn't think this whole time. I assumed that you weren't like invested or weren't paying attention, but you really were this whole time. And so I think learning that, just like don't assume anything, is like really inspiring as well for me.
Thank goodness for the wallflowers. We're paying attention the whole time.
Yes, yeah.
I want to ask you, we're blessed to have you guys, not just because of the work you're doing, but also because our diocese, our bishop here released a pastoral letter called Sharing the Gift, which is strictly it's like a call to become like you guys, to become evangelizers for the people in our 18 counties. And as you guys were talking, I was thinking, so you said there's the retreat folks and there's the discipleship folks, right? So it's like the discipleship folks get to do the kind of the groundwork, cultivation afterward and stuff. You guys are like professional announcers of the gospel, like you're heralds of the gospel. And this is something I think when people read the letter, like, oh my gosh, how can I share the gospel to people, you know, especially if I'm not good at speaking or I don't feel comfortable with it and stuff like that. Did you guys get good at it over time, or were you like naturally inclined to sharing the gospel, or did you have to kind of practice?
I say it's all the Holy Spirit. We had at the beginning of training, I showed up and I was like, what did I sign up for? Like, I cannot do this. We just had to get up in front of all the other missionaries and just say like our names and where we were from. And I was literally like, like 150 people. And a month or two later, I'm doing a retreat every day and giving 10-minute talks, in front of people.
Wow.
And it's all the Holy Spirit. Like whatever God's calling you to, He will give you the grace to go out and do it and to do it well. And to have like so much fun doing it. And so I don't know. I'm not. It makes me laugh when you say professional because I'm definitely not a professional. It's just the Lord's grace, and that's the joy of it.
Yeah, the Lord's grace, and you have to ask for it. But you have to ask for the grace. Like He has it for you, and He wants to give it to you. Like He's just like wanting to give it to you, but love isn't like forceful, you know? So
right.
You have to ask for it. If you ask for it, He'll give it to you.
Because what do you say? You ask for the words, or kind of like ask for the open hearts, or both? Or
for me personally, I ask for the strength.
Okay.
I ask for the strength, and He gives it to me. Whether it be like confidence or just the words to say, that's what I do.
Well, you're in our diocese and you're putting on this program called Totus Tuus. What is it, and where have you been, and what's up next after this podcast is aired? So what are you doing?
So Totus Tuus looks a little bit different than NET. So I signed up for Totus Tuus while I was still on that, actually, and I had no idea what it was at all. I knew the name of it, and that was it. And then she was like, and we'll be going to Florida, and I was like, okay. So now that we've gone through, since we've gone through our training and everything like that for it, it's a little bit easier to, know what we're actually doing. So for Totus Tuus, we will be ministering to everyone from 1st grade to 12th grade. Okay. So in Totus Tuus, we have like week-long programs. So it's like, Totus Tuus comes to your parish for a week. And then in the mornings and like afternoons for every day of the week, we do classes for 1st grade through 6th grade. And so we like split them up into 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th grade. And then we teach them classes. So the theme of our classes this year is the Luminous Mysteries, and then the Our Father. Okay. So we'll just be like going in depth to each one of those
Keep
things.
It basic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then just like part of those classes is like teaching them how to pray the Rosary, and just like talking about prayer and why do we pray, and things like that. And then in the evenings of all of those days, we have what we call night program, and it's just where the 7th through 12th graders, we just like spend time with them specifically. Okay. So we'll have a couple talks, and then we'll have prayer time. So we'll do Lectio Divina. No, excuse me, not Lectio Divina. Is it Lectio Divina? It's Divine Office. Yeah. So we'll do that with them, and then we have like sometimes we'll have adoration, things like that, and just like close out the night with prayer.
So total immersion for a week with these kids, right? Mm-hmm. They're yours the whole time, and oh, neat. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it like Catholic Vacation Bible School, or is it something totally different and more than that?
I would say yes, but better.
Catholics make everything better.
Sophie going out, got inspired. No offense to our non-Catholics. So Vacation Bible School is super famous. Everywhere has it. Mm-hmm. Every church and stuff like that. It's kind of like a Christian summer camp week for kids that is like trying to introduce them to basic Bible stories and stuff. Your goal, though, like Totus Tuus is, that was famous John Paul II's "All Yours, Mary" slogan, and it sounds like there's a lot of Eucharistic elements to it.
Yeah, we're just encouraging the kids we're ministering to give themselves totally to the Lord, specifically for this week, to just like, lay down any walls they might have separating themselves from Him, and just be like full and open to what the Lord is trying to do in their life for them, and then just have that carry through for the rest of their life. Is kind of the goal. And like you were saying, there's a lot of emphasis on the Eucharist and Mary, which really drew me to it, because these are such like beautiful gifts the church has. Like there's nothing greater than the Eucharist, and we're just getting to share this with the youth. And that Jesus is really there. Like He's totally there for you, just waiting for you to come and spend time with Him. So that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, and I think with the Eucharist, just like teaching them about it, and maybe like teaching them the true presence of the Lord in the Eucharist, because some of the like 1st to 6th grade, like they might like hear it all the time, but they might not like truly believe it, and so teaching them in a way where they do believe it, I think that is like the mission.
This is, I don't know, Susanne, you've raised 2 children in the faith, and I'm like in the midst of it, and it's like some of the concepts in our faith, I'm realizing, like the Noah story, for example, the story of the flood is something my 6-year-old is like, I get that. Like bad people, flood, good people, blessing, rainbow, yay. Like it's but it's like when he asks, like especially when his older sister, my daughter Lucia, got First Communion, and he's kind of like, what are we celebrating? It's like, well, let's talk about the word transubstantiation and accidental versus, and it's just like, but I don't know if you all have techniques or anything like that in terms of, you're just trying to like demonstrate a reverence and like a presence there type of thing. I don't even know. I don't know if you guys, even when you were their age, for example, were you like totally dialed in on what the Eucharist was, or which is kind of like a part of being Catholic?
I don't think the Eucharist like really clicked for me until a lot later. I knew it was Jesus, but like I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So I think like kind of what we focus on for like those younger ages is just like, it kind of the concept of like, I know it looks like bread, but like it really is Jesus. And just like sometimes like even telling them about Eucharistic miracles helps. Like the younger kids love stories.
Yes, they do.
Like that. And so those stories are really helpful. But just like, I think the best thing is like giving them the truth and not watering it down, because they deserve to hear the truth, like how it actually is. Just because they're younger doesn't mean that, they should be able to hear it. Sometimes we do need to like water it down a lot, like so that they can understand it. But like not taking away any of the truth of it is really important. And I think that Totus Tuus, like the program, does a great job of keeping all of that truth in it, even for the younger ages. So,
parents, did you hear that? Did you hear that? So many parents are just like, I just can't either I don't know it or like I can't figure out a way to say it, so therefore I'm going to kind of make up a weird answer and hope it goes away type of thing. But you're just like, no, like little people, here's the truth. Exactly. Jesus is real. I mean, he's there and that, like,
exactly.
Adore him. Yeah, that's a special thing to know and apprehend and be able to say to people.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I know for me, like every time I talk about the Eucharist or get to learn more about it, I like grow deeper in my like faith and understanding of it. Because a lot of times, I know I fall into this as well, just like going to Mass and being like, oh, I've done this so many times, and like being so used to receiving the Eucharist, but like we're actually like receiving something that, like, if angels could be envious of men, and because of the Eucharist, like we're getting God Himself within us. Like, how amazing is that? Like, heaven touches earth on your tongue, and we get that every single day. So being Catholic is awesome. Like, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Even somebody who's a little bit older in their age, we can always learn, and I think, even I'm still growing and learning more about that and what it all is. And you guys are just really amazing to be so inspiring at your age and doing the different things you're doing. So following this program here in our diocese, what's next for each of you? What are you headed to after this? Anything you'd like to share with us?
Well, I'm kind of in the same spot as I was in senior year of high school. I'm just kind of like, I don't know, whatever happens. Yeah, I don't know if that means more missionary work. Obviously, like, we're always missionaries because, confirmed Catholics. But whether that means doing another program or just going home and getting a job, probably. I prayed about college, and I decided it's not for me right now. Okay. So, yeah, I won't be doing anything like that, but yeah, we'll see what the Lord throws at me. So.
Good deal.
Yeah. For me, I don't know yet. I'm kind of like in this spot. I think I'm probably just going to go home and work at a coffee shop or something, and pray about like the next step. I might go to school for audio engineering. I don't really know yet for sure though. So that's my plan right now. And so we'll see where the Lord takes me, because I don't know, might connect, might not. His plan in mind, so find out.
Yeah, I like to live by the motto that JP2 has, that like life with Christ is an adventure. So yeah, I don't have super concrete plans either. Likely school and work, but we'll see where that leads. Yeah.
Good.
Your lives are in the Lord's hands. That's not failed you yet, has it?
No, it just keeps getting better. So.
I love that. I mean, there's a lot of people who, my age, your age, 5-year-olds even probably out there who just like, my whole life must be planned to the T, and I must have, it's just like, you guys have found pretty clearly that your life doesn't belong to you, essentially. That's awesome. That's a good thing to learn before the age of 21 or so. It's like, because we were like, I'm 65. I just found out that I'm not in control of my life and my destiny. That's cool.
I actually think it's fun when plans go wrong, because then something crazy and fun happens. And then, I make plans and then they go out the window and I'm like, whatever, something better might happen.
Awesome. Give it to you, Lord.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all in His hands.
Happens.
Well, as we mentioned, we've got, I think, y'all have been throughout places in the diocese, and you're heading to Pensacola area next. So some places have already, if you didn't see them, sorry, you missed them. But if your parents in the Pensacola area, where you're going to be in July, which parish is that you're going to be at?
I think we are going to be at the Cathedral of the Sacred Heart, and then we're going to be going to St. Anne's in Gulf Breeze.
Awesome.
Okay. Good.
And then heading on back wherever the Lord takes you next.
Yeah.
Parents, please go to your local bulletin. You'll find signups there from your faith formation director or youth minister or something like that. Also, ptdiocese.org/ I don't know which part of the website. It was a banner on our website though. So, but definitely your local parish will have signups. And then if you're not a cathedral or St. Anne's parishioner, you're more than welcome to send your child there for a week of hanging out with these awesome folks and getting to know Jesus and His mother more. So
yeah,
So
definitely. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your inspiring stories, and it's really neat to learn so much more about how we can evangelize, within our diocese and around the world and our great country. And so I wish you guys all the best in life holds for you next. So
Thank you so much.
It was a joy to be with you guys.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, well, great. Well, tune in to our next episode where Bishop Bill will finish his Bible teaching series, and we'll be talking about Revelations. So have a great day, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in today to the Gaudium et Spes podcast. If you would like to know more about our podcast, please visit gaudiumetspes.net or go to ptdiocese.org and click the button that says podcast. If you listen to the audio version from an app such as iTunes, Stitcher, or Spotify, be sure and rate, review, and comment. If you watched us on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe or leave us a comment there as well. Thank you for joining us.